Raider Nation, let me know down below. Give me a yes or a no. Do you want the Raiders to trade up for a quarterback? Coming up here on today's show, if you thought that there's no way it's possible, I guarantee you're going to be like, well, so you're saying there's a chance, Mitch. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and the chances for the Las Vegas Raiders trading up for a quarterback are continuously growing and are continuously heating up after NFL owner meeting news. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, yes, the Raiders right now are picking 13, and even though it's not a high percent chance that the Raiders have the opportunity to go up into the top 3, into the top 4, and get one of their franchise quarterbacks, with owner meetings going down from March 24th to March 27th, there has been a lot of speculation and a lot of rumors coming out. Antonio Pierce said, so you're moving up to get Jayden or what? Or that's what he was asked at the meetings. And his response was, you got the pick because can you make that? Like, he wants to go get Jayden. It's not a secret here at this point of what he wants to end up happening. Like, can you go make that happen, please? If there's a coach that's literally saying, like, can you go make that happen, please? I mean, AP, we know what he is. He says exactly what is on his mind, and I appreciate the absolute integrity that he has, because like me doing what I do, like that's what I want. I want somebody that tells me it's exactly what's on their mind. So Antonio Pierce, in regards to on trading up for a quarterback, he had this to say this week. I think everything is on the table. Whatever makes the Raiders better, I'm all for. When I say I'm a go-getter, meaning whatever it takes to win, whatever it takes to get the best player to make your team the best, that's what I want to do, and that's what I'd like to see us do. I believe that Antonio Pierce and Telesco are trying to move up, and I believe that they, if given the opportunity to get Jayden Daniels, they're going to do it. And I said it on my live show, like, to me, it'd be like dangling a piece of chicken or dangling a piece of bacon in front of Chuck. He's going to take it, and that's the guy that they want. And if he's available, I am telling you, they are going to do everything in their power to go get Jayden Daniels. So coming up here on today's show, we're going to get into why I'm just a little bit more hopeful. There was some information that came out on J.J. McCarthy, and apparently there's a team that's going to take him, or potentially could take him a little bit early. On top of that, New England Patriots head coach Jerod Mayo, he's giving me some good vibes right now of, man, there is a legit shot that they could end up trading back. But here's the thing. I don't want you to miss all the news and rumors that we put out. Like, the amount of videos, the amount of content that we put out, I get it. Some people, you watch every video, and I appreciate that. I also know there's a lot of people that, miss a few videos from time to time. You can go back, you can catch up, you can watch it. Think of this as like an ongoing soap opera with Jeremy Chuggs and I covering Raider stuff. Never miss anything. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. All right, so let's talk about Jerod Mayo and what he said that's making me hopeful that the Raiders' chances of getting their franchise guy are going up here a little bit. This is what Mayo had to say. Look, we sit at a very enviable spot at number 3 where we can take someone, or if someone offers a bag, as we would say, a lot of first-round picks, we definitely have to talk about those things. So for your new head coach in Jerod Mayo to say that he's open to trading the number 3 pick in this year's draft, as long as it comes at the right price, that's exactly what he's supposed to say. He did also say that he believes that his team is good enough to compete right away with a rookie quarterback, because there's some speculation out there that New England doesn't think that they are good enough as a football team, so would want to stockpile those picks. That's not necessarily true, but the fact that Mayo is considering multiple quarterbacks, and what happens if the guy that they're targeting at number 3 isn't exactly there. And at first, I would have said that there is a consensus top 3 quarterbacks in this year's draft. For me, it's easy. It's Drake May, it's Jayden Daniels, it's Caleb Williams. That's a consensus top 3. Over the past week, that is no longer the consensus top 3. In fact, I think it is an absolute shit show of who could be the top 3 quarterbacks that are end up drafted. Mayo also at the NFL owners meetings had this to say. When I first started watching these guys, it was that 3-man race. And now as you continue to go into the combine or pro days and bringing guys into the top 30 visits and having time to spend with those guys to really get to know makes them tick, it's about 5 guys, honestly, that could end in being a solid quarterback in the future. So it was reported that there are right now 3 expected quarterbacks to make top 30 visits with the New England Patriots. Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, and Jayden Daniels. they're not going to meet with Caleb. It is already essentially, you might as well just put a Chicago Bears jersey on Caleb. But I do find that these three names here are very intriguing to me. And one of the things that I would potentially look at if I was the Raiders and if I was other NFL teams out there of, okay, well, Mayo said that originally there were 3 guys. Cool. I don't know if he was considering Caleb Williams in that mix. Maybe he was. So let's just say he was. What if he wasn't, though? Then he's got 3 quarterbacks here. Are they going to end up meeting with 2 other QBs? Because if you're the Patriots and you are legitimately looking at 2 other quarterbacks, whether it's a Spencer Rattler, a Michael Penix Jr., a Bo Nix, if you're sitting there at pick number 3, there's no way in hell that you're willing to trade that number 3 overall pick unless you meet with some of the other quarterbacks, because New England still has to try to find a QB this season. Yeah, they ended up signing Jacoby Brissett, but it's kind of like the exact same situation the Raiders are in. The Raiders don't want to start Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. The Patriots don't want to start Jacoby Brissett, but if they're put in that position, maybe they're forced to do it. All I'm saying is watch out what the Patriots do with some other quarterback visits, because I do think it could really, really impact what the Raiders end up doing. So coming up here, I got even more comments here from Jerod Mayo that make me think that he is going to trade back and make me think that there is going to be somebody that offers him something because of his job security that's just going to be too good to turn down, and he's going to take it, and then they're going to figure out the quarterback situation somewhere else. For those that do not know, we have an awesome deal going on right now. If anybody's looking for a brand new Raiders hat, I know when I make some videos at home, I often get asked, yo, Mitch, where'd you get that hat? If you want to see the hat that I recently just got, it is coming up here in rotation. Chatsports.com/Raiders hats. The one that I just got is this cream hat here. It's a snapback. If you don't like snapbacks, like I always picture like my dad rocking a snapback hat, which he's got the flow. He absolutely could do it. But I also picture him just wearing a conventional trucker hat. We have hundreds of different styles of hats. I also know that certain ones are also on sale, like this one right here is on sale. But if anybody out there is looking for a brand new Raiders hat, the link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders hats. Can you remember that for me? Chatsports.com/Raiders hats is available to each and every one of y'all. Take advantage of it, because once they start going, they're going to be going pretty damn quick. All right, let's keep it rolling here with Jerod Mayo and why I'm starting to gain that belief that if there's a team that could trade back in the top 3, it's New England. This is what Mayo had to say. I understand the frustration and expectations built over the last 20 years, but we're trying to build this the right way for the long term. This is something that Mayo said to Patriot fans that were getting a little bit impatient just in regards to what they're going to do at the quarterback position. Mayo also said, I know everyone likes to think that they have the special formula to picking players, but honestly, the guaranteed way to win is to accumulate more picks. So if we don't feel convicted at number 3, we are willing to trade back as well. I think both of the statements that Mayo made make me think that he's going to trade back, or the fact that it is still a possibility / what he wants to do. And he's partially right. Like the way that you've seen some teams build some success over the years, especially the Patriots, has been building through the draft and kind of going that way. You've also seen teams do it another way. The Los Angeles Rams haven't had a first-round pick since they took Jerod Goff in 2016. You have to be flexible. You have to be having that ability to change. But the one thing that people always continue to say is, oh, Mitch, there's 3 quarterbacks that New England could take. Sure, but there's also situations, we see it here all the time on this show. What happens if you're a top 3 team like New England and your quarterback is not there? Are you still just going to take a quarterback even if you don't think that he's that good? No, you're probably then going to end up trading back because there's another team in this year's draft that's willing to offer you a haul for all those picks. And based on what Mayo said, that's what I think could end up happening. So my perfect draft scenario, which when I made this, I might even switch it up here a little bit because of some new reports that ended up coming out. Caleb Williams, number 1, it's a lock, it's going to happen. At number 2, I could create a scenario where Drake May is that quarterback at number 2, but based off of new reports that have come out from Telesco that said it sounds like Adam Peters, the GM of the Washington Commanders, could potentially take J.J. McCarthy at number 2. Bottom line is, if J.J. McCarthy goes number 2 and then Drake May or Jayden Daniels is available at 3 or 4, that gives the Raiders all the opportunity in the world that they need. If it is this scenario where Drake May's number 2, we've seen a lot of Vegas odds just jump up off the board with McCarthy going to Minnesota, and there's all this speculation that McCarthy is going to be a top 3 quarterback, which has just recently started happening over NFL owner meetings, then that gives me the idea that the Raiders have the opportunity to at least get Jayden Daniels at number 4. Like, I know that a lot of people think it's going to be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jayden Daniels of some sort in the top 3 picks. If you're not following along with all the new updates that are starting to come out from those NFL owner meetings, then you need to wake up, because if I were a betting man right now, I would be, it'd be a nightmare, because I don't know who the top 3 quarterbacks are going to be. But I do think that these 4 players pictured right here will be the top 4 picks of the 2024 NFL draft. And the question is, are the Raiders going to do what Antonio Pierce said, which is, I'll do everything possible, anything is on the table to go up and get my guy. So if it goes Caleb Williams, then Drake May, and then the Vikings give a phone call for McCarthy, I'm telling you right now, Telesco and Antonio Pierce are at least going to pick up the phone, and they're at least going to make that trade call, and they're going to try to get something done. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but they are at least going to try to make it happen, which at this point is all I could potentially ask for. So coming up here next on the show, what I figured I would do, since I did this show last week about the Raiders potentially trading up to the number 4 pick of how much it would cost, I wanted to go look at some extra trade options to go up with the New England Patriots at pick number 3, because I've done this show before. I did it probably a month, 2 months ago, right, of what I thought it would cost to trade up to number 3. New information, new stories, free agency has happened, a lot of different things have happened. So what I wanted to do today is give you an idea of how much I believe it's going to cost for the Raiders if they did end up trading up with the New England Patriots at pick number 3. If you want to see some of my trade ideas that I put out last week, because the Arizona Cardinals, their GM also said that they're open to trading back at pick 4, I threw together 3 different trade ideas at pick number 4 with the Arizona Cardinals. This link to this show is down in the comments. It's also going to be in the description of today's episode. All right, so I got 3 trades. Let's look at the first one rolling in here, which is the Raiders. You got to fix this. Pick number 3. The New England Patriots, they get a first-round pick in the next 3 drafts. One of the things that Mayo said, if you remember, was like, hey, if we can get a bag, if we can get a bunch of first-round picks, here's all the first-round picks. Then I also am going to throw in a 3rd rounder, pick 77, and the reason why I'm doing this is because when you go back and look at what the 49ers had to give up to go from 12 to 3, there was 3 first-round picks and then a 3rd-round comp pick. Based off of the price tag this year in this year's draft is higher than what it was in 2021 based on the quarterback play. And then on top of that, the Raiders pick at 13. They got to go up to 3, so it's a little bit more. So this is what I think would be a trade that would probably of how much it would cost to go up to number 3. Now, let's just say the Raiders, they don't want to give up maybe that 3rd-round pick in 2024. They don't want to give up the 3rd-round pick in 2025. Let's just throw in 2 extra players here that could potentially be starters. I know, I'm throwing out Byron Young here, but could also be at least depth players with New England. Like, I don't know what Byron Young could be. It's his 2nd year in the NFL. I mean, think about the amount of people that just were willing to just throw away Malcolm Kuntz. Byron Young on the right team might be a decent fit, and he can join one of his old buddies who he played with at Alabama. But Jacoby Myers, you send him back to New England, and then this is an idea. Like, I know a lot of times people are like, Mitch, why do you want to trade Jacoby Myers? I don't want to trade Jacoby Myers, but New England needs a wide receiver. I don't want to have to trade away Devontae Adams, and Jacoby previously played there, plus you restructured his contract, so this is a way where you don't have to give up more draft capital on top of the 3 first-round picks. My final trade idea is this one, and this is more based on if Mayo's like, you know what, I want more picks now. I want to be able to use those picks right now. You can save some of those later picks like that 2026 first-rounder. This is what I would offer them. Your 3 picks to start this year, 13, 44, and 77. Then you're going to give up a 1st and a 3rd in next year's draft. On top of that, Byron Young, again, you can just have him. I know we drafted him in round 3 last season, but a brand new regime. They also went out and signed Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, John Jenkins. I think Tyree Wilson's going to be playing a little bit more at the defensive tackle position. But like all these trade ideas, and I know there's a lot of people like, man, that is a lot. If you get your franchise guy, it's not a lot. If you miss, oh, it's a lot. So out of those 3 trades, which one is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? Let me know down below, and if you want to give me your reasoning of which one is your favorite, I would definitely appreciate it. I think from top to bottom, when I look at all of these deals, The one that I want to do the least is the third trade. If it was up to me, and I know this might be an unpopular thing to say, I love Jacoby Myers and I like Byron Young, but I would do out of all those trades personally, the number 2 trade would be that I would do. Yeah, you lose Jacoby a little bit, but you can always try to add another receiver in the draft. There's some good names to at least consider in that round 4, round 5 range. Again, you're going to have to settle, but I'm hoping Trey Tucker can take a step up. I'm hoping Michael Mayer can take a step up, and there are still some names out there in free agency, if need be, that you could go out and potentially find. But still, I don't love it, but if that's what it costs to go get Jayden Daniels, I've said it once, I've said it twice. I started the show off with, would you trade up for a quarterback? My answer to that is yes, I would absolutely positively do all those trades if it meant I could have Jayden Daniels as our quarterback.